someone else here who's going to maybe tell the story better than I can because he was in the building. And that's our guest. He was supposed to be here at 11:30. He's here a little early, which I appreciate because he saves my ass. You may know him as the guy who needled CM Punk online for a long time. Pro Wrestling Podcast is here. Dave, how are you?
What's going on, everybody? What's going on, Joel?
Oh, not too much. It's good to see you. How are you doing? How was how's Chicago today?
Chicago is beautiful. What is it? 60 degrees, 65, 69 degrees out. I don't know. It's really nice out.
Okay. I'll take it. Beautiful here. I got my air conditioning going in my office. So
it's nice to finally see you guys with me face to face. We don't.
I'm sorry that Jeremy's not here. He had to go take care of a matter, but he'll be back he'll be back for sure on Wednesday. I don't think he's going to be back today.
Okay.
Had some stuff. Kate might join us though, because of course, if there's one thing I love, it's having two CM Punk big wrestling fans tag team me, who's not being seen as a CM Punk fan. But anyway, you were in the building Saturday. You were there. You saw it. She's here right now, so I'll bring Kate in for the conversation as well.
Holy crap!
Saturday.
Good.
What is up, Kate?
Holy Nothing. Crap. I heard Joel wanted to talk more about booking the Miz in the G1. Is that right? Is that what we're here to talk about? Or
yes, that's
no. Exactly. Are we here to talk about this fella right here?
This guy?
Yes. That guy. The guy. Yeah, there you go. The guy with all the the conversation. That's the guy.
This guy?
Oh dear.
Yeah. Oh, see, now that's like a humble brag, man.
All right. You're live in the building. You're live in the building. You see it, and you see it transpire. How did it feel, first of all? And then we can talk about that promo that Punk cut, because I know there are feelings.
So it kind of felt like a pay-per-view type vibe. Like that's the way it felt for me, and everybody else. Like, I don't know, there was like some kind of giddiness vibe around that I felt. Everybody was so excited. Like, I hear people around me wanting to know what they thought the promo was going to be about. Which I guess we'll get to that, but it was, I don't know, it was you kind of could just feel like everybody just, when you walk into a building and you have that like overwhelming what's it called, like electricity almost. That's what it felt like. You could just feel it. I don't know how to describe it, but the set was beautiful. I loved the stage. The stage was awesome. I don't know why they didn't do that for Dynamite, but I guess they're trying to be like the second show. But I loved it. I loved everything about it. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Wait, so I'm joining a little late. Were you there the first time? Were you there for Punk's return from?
Yeah. Okay. I was there the first time at the Rampage, right? When he came out, I gotta say, it was kind of underwhelming. It didn't sound as loud as the first time he came out, and it's probably because everybody was expecting it. But I'm not sure.
Yeah, and I think it was half the amount of people, right? Because the United Center was set up for 20,000 the first time around and 10,000 the second time. I felt like watching it at home, it came across very loud. Like it came across even louder than I expected. But if you were there the first time, I'd imagine that's like also an impossibly high bar. Like that's so
yeah.
You're right, like it was expected and there's been turmoil and it's kind of just been like, I think there's more of this like finally we're moving on energy around it, where the first time was just like this holy shit, CM Punk's coming back to pro wrestling moment. Mm-hmm. But were you disappointed you didn't get ice cream bars or muffins and drift? Yeah, I was.
Yeah, I was like, you could have came out with some ice cream bars or no. Instead, we got a sack. We got like a sack of whatever's in that sack of his and some boots. I really thought when he came out with those boots that it was gonna be well, obviously he was gonna come out and he swerved me. He got me. I thought he was gonna come out and retire. Okay. Yeah.
Whose boots was he wearing then? Was he wearing Danhausen's boots again? No, he was wearing his own boots. Come on.
Had to be Danhausen's.
No, come on. So you're in the building, you see it live, you see him come out, and then he starts to talk. CM Punk has a lot of things to say, none of which, like I mentioned earlier, none of which was setting up the trios match. But of course, he had plenty to say about the last 10 months and his feelings towards that. What was your feeling hearing him say all that live and just the reaction from the crowd as well?
Well, I was a bit upset that he didn't mention me. That was one thing.
Understandable.
Yeah,
Understandable.
I was a bit upset about that. But the reaction from the crowd was, I don't know if you guys could hear it, but it was like on my end, it was mixed. I heard a lot of people really upset with what he was saying.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I didn't think there was anything. I mean, it was just a promo, regular wrestling promo. But you got your oohs and ahs, and then other people are just like, "What the hell did he just say? Are you serious? I'm soft. What?"
So that's what I'm curious about, because you're in the building. How many people there are of the understanding of what the last 10 months have been, specifically online and the news and the media? Like, not everyone knew about this. So what was going on in the building when Punk starts kind of making little shots at the Bucks and the Elites?
It was just, everybody was like shocked when he came out with that counterfeit Bucks line. Everybody's like, oh, like, it just faces all across. And I'm like, me, I listen before I react. So I'm just like, okay, all right, he's making some good points. All right. And other people around me are just, overreacting. I think it's like most of it. It's just been an overreaction. Even
in wrestling.
Promo. Yeah.
You think there's overreacting in wrestling?
Never. Come on.
But
yeah, sit on that. I'm gonna have to think on that for a little bit.
But
do you think this is setting up a heel turn? I guess, like, if we want to get into it, right? Like, to me, it felt. My favorite promo of his was not the pipe bomb in WWE. My favorite promo of his was the one that I felt like he was emulating right before he turned heel on The Rock. I thought that was the best work he's ever done. And there was a lot before I even saw things like he took the flag off the microphone like he did in WWE. There were a lot of things that I was like, this feels more like that. And I kind of like the idea of if it is a heel turn, because Chicago, you have an idea of what the reaction's going to be. If you're turning heel, you need a place to turn from. And I thought maybe this as an opener was actually strategically designed. My co-host on Saturday, or the host, I was the co-host because I don't have to work for that show. He had said, like, it made him feel uneasy. And I was like, well, I think it might have been designed to. Like, it kind of was a damned if you do, damned if you don't, because you can't not acknowledge it. But to acknowledge it, you kind of have to come across in a heelish way. I think you're trying to drum up excitement about a new product. You're obviously going to lean into the controversy, but like, to me, and then when I saw the match, I was like, oh, he's turning heel. Like, this is definitely like heel leanings, in my opinion. How they choose to do that, I think, could be very interesting. If he ends up hanging out with Jay White and CMFTR was just an illusion all along, I think there's a lot of fun to be had in that. But do you have it sounds like the mixed reactions were kind of leaning into what Alex had said of like an uneasiness. Do you feel like we're getting a heel turn, and did you feel like the promo combined with the story is like that we got in the match is leading anywhere?
I don't think we're getting a heel turn. Somebody said this on a podcast and I forgot what it was, but I'm just going to take his take. I think he's going to go, obviously in Chicago, he's going to get cheered no matter what, go figure. But if he goes somewhere else, he's going to get booed. And I think he's just going to take that. I think he's just going to go with the flow. I don't think there's a heel Punk. I don't think there's a face Punk. It's just however the crowd reacts. That's what he's going to, that's how he's going to emulate. Like, that's what he's going to use.
Sure.
I guess. Yeah. So that's what I think. I don't think there's going to be a definite heel turn. I just think he's just going to go with the flow no matter where he's at. And I think that's the right way to do it, because there's not everybody's going to like Punk, and I get that. But
and like not everyone's gonna hate him either. Like that's
right.
That's kind of the tricky thing, is you could even try and turn him super heel out of this, but in order to do that, like, there's too many people that are just in this guy's corner no matter what the circumstances are. What I'm intrigued by is if he turned on FTR, I think he would be a hard definition heel, because those guys are over like Rover right now. But I also kind of like this idea of, if he joined up with Jay White, like, there's a really easy anti-elite but could be done in a way more subtle way and a way more I hate saying it, but like less toxic way. Like if you're pairing it with Jay White and you have CM Punk being the type of heel he is, and that Jay White being the type of heel that he is, there's a lot of story you can play into without it being so overpowering, kind of like with this narrative. Do you think that we might be seeing different alliances than everybody assumed, or do you think we're just going to rock and roll with the CMFTR run?
I think for a little bit, we're going to have the CMFTR run.
That's fair. I'm just intrigued because I don't know how I feel about a heel FTR with how over they are, but I think it would be good for the roster to have a heel tag team champion team. And I think they're very good at it. I just want to cheer for FTR because I think they're great. So it's like my wrestling brain versus my fandom brain are at odds with that.
I mean, and FTR could be dropping those tag titles as early as, a few weeks from now because of that blind eliminator tournament. And for all we know, the winners of that tournament can end up being a formidable tag team. It could end up being, I don't know, Swerve and Keith Lee. But the point is here, whoever it is could put FTR on the run for their money, and FTR drops tag titles and then opens them up to turn heel and chase again. It's an option.
It's going to be CM Punk and Hangman
versus you think so?
FTR.
I honestly just do it. Strange bedfellows. They're gonna put like Matt Hardy and Ethan Page together in this thing somehow.
One thing I didn't mention before the show, because you asked me what the vibe was like. Honestly, when they started the first CM Punk chant, there was boos.
In Chicago?
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
There was boos. Yeah, some people were booing. There wasn't that many people inside, so you could hear obviously everybody when when you're overpowered by a bunch of CM Punk fans, you won't be able to hear the boos as much. But yeah, there was some. I got a video I think on my Twitter where you could hear CM Punk chants and some boos over there on the side. It's interesting.
I feel like I was doing a watch along, so I wasn't really listening to the crowd reaction that much, but from what I could hear, it felt like pretty heavily positive. So that's interesting that live it was a little bit more mixed, but not surprising. Like I think kind of the chief complaint that I heard about the promo was that like there's a lot of people that like CM Punk and also like the Elite, and they didn't like the polarization aspect of it. I think you had to lean into it because that's been the narrative for 10 months. But like I kind of liked that. Like if it is something that's gonna be heel-ish, like we'll say he's going to be booked heel, because if it's like he's not turning heel or whatever, let's say he ends up fighting a bunch of faces, and in a way that I feel like Eddie Kingston is just there to kick everybody's ass. Like he's not there to be heel or face. He just wants to fight everyone except Jon Moxley's his best friend. Like if he's booked heel, like leaning into the polarization, I think is good. If he's not, I think that's going to be an interesting and kind of a rough road. But like, to me, it felt like he laid down the gauntlet of like, there's a bunch of money matches on the table and it's up to whoever to coordinate them and take advantage of them. And it's our resident egg eater, Sean Ross Sapp.
Hello, Eggman.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad we did this. Oh, and some toast. This is
cinnamon.
Is
it cinnamon raisin toast?
Wow,
well played.
Raisin toast. This is good stuff. Well,
all right.
It is not. It is by definition not good stuff, but it is stuff that happens every time you do one of these shows. So Sean comes on and eats his eggs and goes away.
It's an inevitability. Who needs to talk about wrestling when you can talk about the Eggman? Cuckoo could you. Let's really quickly. Let's talk about the Instagram. Let's talk about the Pro Wrestling Podcast Instagram. Go follow it now, by the way, if you haven't yet. You made waves when once upon a time Mr. CM Punk himself decided to comment on one of your posts.
Duh.
Duh. What happened? What happened? What led to this? And I mean, clearly you two are best friends now, right? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, we call each other every night, and no,
the dirt.
Yeah. When it first happened, I thought somebody was trolling me. I thought, until I saw the blue check mark. But I was like, no way. And I'm just like around my house going, no way. I put my phone down. I started jumping. I'm like, no way. I had to look at it again. And I just couldn't believe it. I kept it under wraps because I didn't know. It was just a comment. You just said duh, right? So I'm just like, okay, that's cool. That's awesome. You know, my freaking idol just commented on my stuff. So, you know what the hell? Next thing I know, I'm getting there's articles about it. There's YouTube videos about it. I'm like, what is going on? And then so much speculation coming just from this one word, you know? And
well, because it was also like he hadn't said anything in a social media presence in months, right? So it was like not only that he like it seems like every time this guy breathes, there's a bunch of stories about it. I'm one of the problems in that. I get it. But I think the fact that he said anything was like a holy shit moment, and then what it was in response to was definitely like that, right? Like it's a little bit of a twofold there.
It was so cool, and I felt like I won the fan lottery. Like, honestly, out of all the pages that talk about him, he landed on mine and went, duh. And it just, it changed a lot for me. It changed a lot for me. And sometimes I'll even DM him. I'll be like, hey man, good show. And he'll give me a thumbs up or be like, just stuff like that. It's cool. It's like I have I don't know. There's
a rapport. Like, yeah. Your best friends. That's basically what that is.
Yeah, basically. So I don't know. It's really cool. It was very, and then he just kept doing it. Like, and then he did it again with about the forgot what book it was called. He did it again, but he was talking about making amends with each other and let bygones be bygones, shake hands, and kumbaya and all that. And that blew up again. So I don't know. I'm not mad that I'm the epicenter of all Punk's comments. So it's
my
really
favorite
cool.
one was probably the most recent one of him when somebody was trying to dunk on him for being injury prone, turning that around and saying it was a bad way to talk about Adam Cole. Yeah. That popped me tremendously.
And you know what? It was really sweet for me to go up to this collision because everything that transpired everything to that moment, to him coming out and him making that promo. 10 months, 10 months of nothing. And I mean, well, I carried the thing for a little bit. Yeah, damn right. I'm proud of that. But
workers work, damn it. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah.
There's gonna come a time where I need to let the era die down a little bit. But
sure.
No, for now I'm keeping that. And like I said, I thought the promo was fine. I didn't think anything of it. I heard Joel talking about it earlier, but
overwhelmed in either direction. This was kind of just, is it coming from a place of you don't think it's that big of a deal, or that you were kind of expecting it, or both?
That's the thing. Like I take wrestling. I love wrestling. I love it to death, but I don't take it too serious. I know what it is.
That's why we invited you on today.
Yeah.
Joel and I have a whole thing about like, we hate it, and we'll even catch ourselves saying it sometimes, but when people are like, I'm just really concerned that, it's like, come on, like, no, you're not. You have real things in your life, but sorry, continue.
No, that's the thing. I have a job and a family to worry about, so it's like worrying about what's going to happen in wrestling isn't my thing. But like, I don't take it as serious, and it's kind of just like, whatever happens. And for 10 months we didn't have Punk and everything was fine. I enjoyed wrestling then. Punk's back. I enjoy it just the same. So
you're not going to last very long in wrestling if you stay this normal and balanced and reasonable. Far too reasonable.
That's why I don't really believe in the face heel thing, because I go to shows and cheer for who I cheer for and boo who I want to boo. You're
not supposed to do that. You're supposed to cheer the bad guys and boo the bad guys and cheer the All right, I was thinking 2019. No,
you had it right the first time.
No, I sit there and I laugh at MJF when he, calls everybody a piece of shit. So it's like,
Are you going to Wintrust for Dynamite this Wednesday?
I am. Yeah, I'm going to go to that.
Are you looking forward to anything in particular? Because like we said, there was a report by Fightful Select that Punk might be there for the show and not the Bucks and Kenny Omega or Hangman at it, presumably at that point too.
And yeah, well, I guess I'm looking forward to CM Punk number one. That's number one. I don't know. I haven't really looked at the card. That's another thing too. I don't look at any cards before a show.
Good for you.
This man is out here raw dogging live wrestling events.
Go to a show and enjoy it. There's not.
That's what I do. Yeah, I don't.
Interesting.
Every once in a while, I'll pull my camera out and I'll record something that's cool, but I don't make it a point to be like, oh, this is for clout. Look at me. You know, I don't do that. You know,
you also don't set out to hate it, which is unique.
Yeah. I love wrestling for what it is. And I go in with obviously raw dogging. I go in there blind. And whatever happens, happens. And if I hate it, I hate it. If I enjoy it, I enjoy it. That's my motto.
Do you have a favorite match that you've seen live that you didn't expect to see, that like you kind of came in blind?
Oh, that's a good. I can't say that one. I can't say. I was about to say Blood and Guts in Detroit.
Yeah, but the cage was already.
Yeah, it was already booked, so I can't really.
You just walked in like, what?
Well, what is this? What is this cage?
That would be very like, I know you're like, I don't look at the card. If you were like, I don't even know what a cage is, that would be next level. Yeah, I would say.
I can't say I know a wrestling match at the top of my head right now.
That's fair.
That Blood and Guts one though was like, that was special still because we didn't know who. The one in Detroit, we didn't know who was coming out, right? So like there were still elements of things you didn't know, and I don't know. I feel like both Blood and Guts matches were so different. Like,
I do have one. It's not a match though.
Okay,
it's not a match. Okay, so
a moment.
It was a moment, and everybody loves this moment. I went to All Out. Was it 2021?
When Punk came back?
And Danielson debuted, and Cole debuted.
Yeah, Cole. It wasn't a wrestling match, but it was the best wrestling moment I have ever experienced. And it was the loudest Adam Cole baby I ever heard in my life. Oh my God. I legit closed my eyes and went like, just looked up like I was praying that, I was like, Adam Cole. I was like, oh my God. It was like a out of body experience. I've never told you guys this though either, but when I was at the Rampage one and CM Punk just came out, everybody was going crazy. I was sitting up in the nosebleeds because I couldn't afford good tickets at the time. There was this, I was sitting with my sister, and there was this kid he got hyped. I don't know what he was on, but he got hyped. He took his shirt off, wrapped his shirt around his hand, and then started punching the AC unit and going, ah! I was like, oh, that's awesome.
That rules. Oh my God.
Did
security come over? I don't care about anything else we talked about as much as this story. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big CM Punk fan. I need to know more about this guy.
It was amazing.
Oh
I wish I would have got his name now, but no.
I know.
He just going. Ah. He wasn't even looking. Punk was coming out. He wasn't even looking.
That night, the M in CM Punk stood for meth for that guy.
Crystal meth Punk fan. That's him. My God. Lord Almighty. Oh, that's hysterical.
Oh my God. Listen, Dave, thank you for joining us on this. This has been enlightening. This has been a really chat about Collision and everything. Are you going to keep watching Collision? Is it going to make you want to watch it more than Dynamite, or are you still like, I'm just going to watch everything?
I'm gonna try to watch Collision the best I can, whether it be live or recorded. Saturdays are kind of busy for me, so
yeah, I think there's a lot of people that are relying on the DVR for this one, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
No,
take your weekends, enjoy your lives, people.
Yes, don't make yourself go crazy over wrestling. Do what Dave does and just go in blind and don't worry about the show. Just
raw dogging it.
just raw dog.
I love that is the new term for like not looking at the card. Well, here's what you're excited about on Dynamite. You can plug your ears if you don't want to know, if you want to raw dog it. But I am so excited about Zack Sabre Jr. and Daniel Garcia versus Orange Bullocks and Shibata. That's gonna rule.
Call him Shabullocks while you're at it.
Shabullocks.
Some bullets.
Oh, that's so good. That's gonna be it. And then you got your blind eliminator.
Oh yeah.
What else is on Dynamite?
Did they announce who's in that?
No, because it's lethal lottery style.
Oh.
So
I don't know what that means.
It basically
random
tag team. Random people are put together in a tag team.
Why? They have
Yeah, I don't get that.
I don't know. Matt Taven is gonna win. Just Matt Taven. Just his honor. Just Matt Taven.
Is Bear Country still with the company?
Yeah, they're called the Iron Savages now.
Iron Savages, and they're mostly on ROH. Those guys rule.
Okay.
And then Jeff Jarrett takes on Mark Briscoe in a concession stands brawl. Because Chicago, how close is Chicago to Tupelo? We're talking Illinois to Missouri.
I don't know about that.
Well, anyway, they're putting big numbers on that Tupelo, Missouri concession stands brawl.
Lord Almighty. God grant me the serenity to accept the booking I cannot change.
Let's find out. If you want to drive from Tupelo, is it Tupelo? It's Tupelo, Kansas, isn't it? Oh my God, why are there so many Tupelos? Is Tupelo, Kansas? No, it's Mississippi. It's Tupelo, Mississippi. Why are we doing this on the air? I don't care. It's a 9-hour drive.
I was just gonna say you're literally
what's happening?
Google Maps on there.
Because Google Maps on there is fine.
That's like a deep cut for something that wasn't that great in the first place. This concession stand brawl, but
well, no, you got that one super chat last night. They said it was a big deal in Tupelo.
9 hours away by your Google Maps estimation.
10 hours if you take a specific route that is also 666 miles. So there you go.
Ooh.
Devil's number, not the nice number.
Anyway, let's get out of here. Dave, go ahead. Plug your stuff, please. Thank you again for joining us.
No problem. You guys can find me on Instagram. That's at the Pro Wrestling Podcast. I post a lot of like news and funny tweets from wrestlers sometimes. Some people will comment, big boy over here, CM Punk did that.
Who's to the left back there?
That's Santana and Ortiz, Proud and Powerful.
Oh, sick.
That's cool. I also have a Twitter that it's there. I do stuff with it sometimes. And a YouTube channel, which is also the Pro Wrestling Podcast. I do live streams, mainly Dynamite, SmackDown. And then every now and then I'll make an original video. I'm working on a video right now. I'm trying every flavor of Prime. So that's in the works. I might have to edit that.
God bless you for that.
Yeah.
Because I've heard mixed things about the Prime Energy drink.
But that's where you guys can find me, and that's it.
Thank you a million. Thank you so much for joining us. You're going to be back on. I know the next time that we need a CM Punk apology tour, you're going to be the guy that I go to, and I'm just going to bring you on, and we're going to talk about it. Or going to live events. Let's face it.
Do you guys know what song I was thinking of when he came out?
No, which one?
It was Hero by Nickleback.
All right, Dave, it's been nice having you. You're never coming back on here. No Nickleback references.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah.
Oh, man.